Yeah. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another edition of Fourth and Forever, brought to you by Roundtable Sports. You will notice that TD is not with us today. Richie has a theory that it has to do with the fact that he is running based off of the New York Knicks going up 3-1 in the series as the Boston Celtics ultimately end up falling. Now, haven't heard from TD, so we certainly hope all is well, but we are just assuming that he is running because of that. Richie, would you have anything to add to that theory?
Yeah, I mean, I know you guys always make fun of us because we're late and not super on time, but Dan and I have been sitting here backstage waiting to start it up, waiting for TD. But we're like, all right, let's just start it without him. And listen, I haven't heard from him, so yeah, I hope he's okay. But, you know, I know TD so well, where I already know what he's going to say about last night, the Knicks Celtics. I know him so well. It will never, ever, ever. Like, even if the Jets win the Super Bowl one day somehow, he will never even, like, he will make some type of excuse and discredit.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Even if the Knicks win the title this year, he's going to discredit everything. He's the king of discrediting and never giving respect where it's due. But with that, let's get into Fourth and Forever. We'll see if TD shows up. I'm excited for tomorrow, Dan. Tomorrow's going to be, like, I don't know
how. It's going to be huge.
I don't know what's going to happen with me, because the Knicks have a chance to go to the Eastern Conference Finals for the first time in 24 years. Let me just make sure you're aware of that, Dan. 24 years, the Knicks, since they went to the Eastern Conference Finals. If they win tomorrow night, they advance. While the NFL schedule drops, while I'm live on the AFC's Roundtable, I got to do a Bleacher Report show. I got to do the Roundtable. I got to watch my Knicks. Tomorrow night's going to be a whirlwind, and I'm excited for it.
You know what? I'm really excited about tomorrow, right? Because you have your New York
Roundtable. It's going to be live. Stay tuned.
It's going to be huge. And I do kind of want to talk to you after the show about something I think that we should launch, but we will keep that as a surprise for each and every single one of you.
Why you have to tease me like that, man?
Yeah, dude. Yeah, I know. Guys, please do us a favor. Smash that like button as you're coming in. It is the easiest way to show love on this channel. I see regular names in here all the time that make this a part of their daily routine. So please do us a favor. Just hit that thumbs up. It helps propel it out to the YouTube algorithm, so more people who want to talk ball during the offseason and into the regular season have a place to come. And also, when you subscribe, make sure you turn on bell notifications so you don't miss out on an opportunity to participate in one of our Q&A segments, in which that we do each and every single episode, at least for this past week. So a lot of benefits over here on Fourth and Forever. Funny enough, right? Yesterday, we were talking about Trey Hendrickson and the Cincinnati Bengals, and he actually showed up to OTAs today, Rich. But dude was in street clothes, and he ultimately ended up having a 25-minute meeting with the press, and he all but ended up saying, like, he was going on like an absolute tear of this organization. He was holding nothing back, right? He was saying, yeah, I'm sorry, but I just want to be paid what I deserve. I was told that if I mimicked the production I did in 2023 and 2024, that I would have a new deal. You would know that if I only had 4 sacks last year, then they would be looking for money back, and they would be looking to give me a pay cut. So what I want is what I deserve. And then he was asked, are you going to play if you don't get a new deal done? And he said, no, I am not. He said, I am not going to play unless I get a deal. So he has announced his holdout. Thoughts on this? Because this is bonkers.
Yeah, that's pretty wild. He showed up, but he's like, I'm not playing if you don't pay me, which is in line with what I expected yesterday when we talked about this. I think that he's at the stage of his career, and we've seen players do this, very open and honest. The Bengals, it's so simple. You have 2 options. There's no in between. Pay him or trade him. Like, it's literally that. It's that easy. I know it's more complicated in terms of contract negotiation. A potential trade is more complicated. But first things first, you got to look at your books. You got to evaluate Hendrickson. You got to look at your financials after paying T. Higgins and paying Jamar Chase. It's going to be tough. The one thing I know about the Bengals is nobody ever expected them to keep both Chase and Higgins. So maybe it's taking this too long because they're figuring out some loopholes and future CBAs and future salary cap indications that they can afford keeping Hendrickson. So that's why it's taking so long. I don't know, but definitely interesting stuff.
So it's wild too, because I have been tapped in with a lot of Bengals creators on the internet, right? And I did make a video and stuff like that saying that, hey, it's rumored that the Buffalo Bills are going to be featuring the Cincinnati Bengals on the Sunday Night Football for week 1, right in the 2025 NFL season. And I said, great. I said, fantastic. You want to know why, Richie? Because I think we can all admit that, number one, like, this team is obviously going through quite a few issues when it comes into a brand new defense. And they have 3 players that are currently sitting out, 2 of which that are rookies, right within Knight Jr., so the linebacker that they received, and then also the friend of the show, Shamar Stewart, as well.
Friend of the show, friend of the program.
A friend of the program. He is sitting out as well. And I also believe that it's well known that Cincinnati ultimately ends up struggling at the beginning of the season, right? It is just known that they typically go 1-3, 2-2, sometimes 0-3. So that would be a dream to me, Richie, right then and there. Going ahead and have the Cincinnati Bengals week 1, just going ahead, hang sack a little bit.
That would be a great game. Sunday Night Football, Buffalo.
Yeah.
I mean, I think that's a no-brainer. It has to be either Bengals or Ravens Sunday night in Buffalo. I think that's an absolute NFL perfection. But there's also a part of you, if you're the NFL, you want to save that prime matchup down the season. You know, keeping that Ravens and Bills Sunday Night Football for week 14. You know, like, and when it's snowy or something like that.
Yeah.
So it's going to be interesting. I mean, cannot wait to see what the schedule releases. I do got to take a time real quick because it seems like the chat is here for one reason, and it's to get at TD after the. I know this is a football show, but man, the chat is pissed TD's not here, so we can eat crow on what he had to say about the Knicks and Celtics. Look at the chat, man; they're all talking about it. But listen, man, basketball's here, but the NFL is also here. Now, I have something I wanted to announce, if you don't mind.
Oh,
NFL related, and Dan, you would be very proud of me.
Perfect. Talk to me.
So there was an announcement that the Jets are being featured on a brand new Amazon Prime show that Terrell Owens sports documentaries, blah, 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 female CEO docuseries EP'd by Serena Williams. And it's basically following the Jets. It's called The Home Team, NY Jets, a 6-part documentary series that follows 6 New York Jets players and their partners, including Quinnen Williams, AVT, blah, blah, blah. Now, I had some intel about this. Want to know why?
What's that?
Because there's a chance that your boy will be on it.
All right. Dude, congratulations. That's awesome. That's really awesome, man. You know what?
And you know where this is going?
Like, where?
How I said you'd be proud of me?
Yeah.
But why?
I'm very proud of you. Why am I proud of you, man? Because you quite regularly get featured from your own home team. They always look for Richie's content, right? And this is not the first time.
Yeah, well, there's a deeper layer to it that you'll be proud of me. So you remember when I was on the Aaron Rodgers one?
Yeah.
And what was everyone's first question when I was featured on the Netflix documentary?
And did they pay you?
Yes, exactly.
So this time you're like, yeah, fool, but you're paying me.
Yes.
Yes, dude. Yes. That's what I'm talking about, man.
You'll hit Bob now.
Yo, Richie, your face brings in dollars. All right, bro. Go on ahead and.
For those that don't know what we're talking about, Netflix reached out to me about the Aaron Rodgers documentary last year and asked me for rights for my content. And I was like, yeah, you can have my rights. Didn't think anything. Everyone's like, oh, how much are they paying you? And I'm like, they're not paying me anything. I didn't ask for money. They didn't offer. I didn't ask. And they were like, everybody in the chat said that. Everyone was like, yo, like, you got to ask for money. Like, and I was like, forget it, bro. I'd rather just be on Netflix. And I don't have any regrets doing that. So when I got that email this time, they reached out to me like, hey, Richie, we're blah, 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 blah. We're doing a Jets Amazon show. We want this piece of your content for the show. And then my first response was, will there be any compensation involved or something along those lines? And then right away, they're like, oh, yeah, it will cost X. So not a lot of money, but hey, they sent over the contract. Now it's in the works. So there's a chance that your boy will be featured in this.
So I'm low-key curious, man. Shoot me a text and let me know the figure. I'm just kidding.
it's not. Yeah, I mean,
yeah, I'm curious. Just shoot me over a number. All right. Yeah. Curious.
Yeah. I mean,
and say you haven't signed it. All right. Listen. Okay. So step one, that's great. Like you actually got back and you're like, okay, like what's the compensation? Did you counter? Like once they said, okay, yeah, we'll pay you this. Or no? You're like, okay, cool.
Nah, I didn't. I mean, maybe that's next step. I didn't counter. I'm like,
next step. Hey, dude, it's baby steps. It's baby steps, man. Listen, we're going to get there.
And then they asked me for rights for a second one. So then they upped it. So I was like, all right.
Oh, dude, I'm sitting here waiting on this damn number, man. I'm sitting here waiting on this damn number. But congratulations.
Yeah, it's not a lot of money, but it's money.
It's kind of funny, too, because like, so what probably happened was their buddies over at Netflix was like, yo, hit up that Richie guy. Because that sucker does it for free.
Yeah, man, literally. It's exciting. Just to be featured and just to have my piece of content. I think it's just gonna be audio of me. I don't know if it's gonna. I don't even know. I think they want a piece of my content of me talking about Devontae Adams getting released. So I don't know how that fits into their story.
Okay. So I guess this show is just going to be covering the entire New York Jets saga.
Yeah, they covered
last
6
year,
players.
Aaron Glenn, etc.
Yeah, they covered 6 players. So they're following Quinnen Williams, Elijah Vera Tucker, and their spouses, so like their significant others, and 4 other players throughout the whole season last year. So we're gonna have to relive that Jets season, which is not going to be fun, through the lens of some of the players and behind the scenes. So I'm excited for it, and I'm very fortunate. I got that email when I was at a concert down in Virginia, and I'm like, oh, what is this?
Word.
Yeah, let's do it.
Hell yeah, brother. Hell
yeah, man. I learned, and everybody was like, yeah, you're on the Netflix talking about how much they pay. And I'm like, oh, they're not paying me anything. What do you mean? I should ask for money. I'm too nice of a guy, man.
It's like that meme from We're the Millers. It's like, you're only paying me $100,000. You're only paying me $50,000. Wait, y'all getting paid?
Yeah.
Oh, dude. It's cool stuff, man. It is cool stuff. We have Hennessy Heisman is coming. Make sure TD is on the roundtable during game 5
tomorrow.
He's gonna, yeah,
and that would be fantastic, Dan, because the Knicks game tomorrow, it's a really early tip-off, 7 p.m. EST.
Okay.
So we're gonna be on the roundtable during that game, during the end. Like,
so you're gonna know exactly how it's going, right?
Yeah, the time we start the show is gonna be like halftime or like in the third quarter, second half. So we're going to be in the middle of the start of our show, and we're going to be able to react to the Knicks hopefully beating the Celtics. And I want to see TD's face. Oh, my God. Please.
Man, you know what? It's going to be a good time.
It's going to be a hybrid, honestly. Knicks Celtics watch party and NFL schedule release tomorrow night on the roundtable. Mostly the NFL schedule release, of course. But
oh, man. We will see. But you know what, Richie? I've been going on ahead, and I've been thinking quite a bit. And so I released a video on X earlier today, and some people might think it's a troll, or some people might think it's just me being a Homer Buffalo Bills fan. But I got to tell you what, Rich, I have a feeling that the Buffalo Bills, this is their best possible season to get the number 1 seed in the AFC playoffs. Why do you ask? I'll tell you. So I look at who.
I just want to, before you go, let me just say this. You did the same thing last year.
I did, but hear me out. Okay.
That was your goal. The number 1 seed was like what you want.
So I broke out the whiteboard, right? And then I ultimately ended up looking at the 2 divisions that normally have the 1 seed. It's the AFC North. It's the Baltimore Ravens. It's the Kansas City Chiefs in the AFC West. And I ended up dissecting specifically what everything looked like for both of those divisions as far as their opponents based off of other divisions, etc. Starting off with the AFC West, you have the Kansas City Chiefs. Their division got significantly better, right? With the Denver Broncos, with the LA Chargers, and somehow the Raiders always pull a win out of their ass, right? Within their divisional opponents. They're also playing the NFC East. All of them are playing the NFC East. Eagles, Commanders, don't sleep on the Cowboys. I like that, right? Now moving on to the AFC North. I think it's all but known that the AFC North beats the hell out of each other at any given season. It's how it is. Last year, we saw the Browns beat the Ravens, right? Crazy. All across the board. They are playing the NFC North. So they are playing the Lions, Packers, Vikings, and the Chicago Bears by itself, where the Buffalo Bills are playing within their own division. and I'm sorry to say, but historically we do relatively well within this one. And we're also playing
Later.
the NFC South. Okay. Like maybe Baker steals a win or something along those lines.
We'll
But
see about Bryce Young coming into Buffalo.
Hey, listen, you know what? I actually want to make it out to Charlotte for that game.
Oh, that's in Charlotte?
Yeah, it's in Charlotte.
That's
But
a whole other event is doing away games. Those are fun events to play.
Yeah, most definitely. But you know what?
I can see it.
Thoughts on it, right? Because so the way that I'm looking at it, like we have the 5th easiest schedule right in the NFL by itself. We have all of our hard opponents at home, where we went undefeated at home last year.
Did you go undefeated at home last year?
We did. Yeah. And I want to say all but one game was an absolute blowout at home. It was all but one.
Must be nice. Yeah, I think if you break it down from that lens, the Bills definitely have an easier schedule out of the teams you'll be contending with.
Yeah.
I feel like Baltimore is last year they kind of had this weird hiccup in the middle of the year, and then they got hot late, which stole the division back. And then you got the Chiefs. They're that team now, I feel like Kansas City, where they cruise in the regular season and they just level their game up in the playoffs. So, yeah, I mean, the Buffalo Bills, I don't know what the odds are if you look at a book, but I think they should be one of the favorites to be the first seed in the AFC. Like, absolutely. Like, I definitely am not ignorant in thinking that. I think I ate my crow last year. I was projecting the Bills to take a step back. I was dead wrong. And I think with the same coaching staff, with Joe Brady not leaving, I think is so massive.
Yeah.
With the Bills, the continuity element. I think with Daboll leaving, you guys went through a little like wake up. Like, okay, we got to replace Daboll with somebody.
Ken Dorsey.
Yeah, Ken Dorsey was so bad.
That bum.
And ever since you replaced Joe Brady, I don't even know what the stats are, but they're probably off the charts. Like, statistically, I remember when he was replaced, you guys were 66, and then you went on a winning streak 2 years ago. So yeah, I think it's definitely in the wheelhouse of the Bills, but it's not about getting the first seed. It's about going to the Super Bowl.
That's all it's about, man. You know what? And it's only ever been that one seed that we needed. All right. So we can get home field advantage. Wouldn't it be a movie?
And you never know, because you know what's wild? Just to connect this to real quick with basketball, the Knicks are the 3rd seed.
Yeah.
And the way that the NBA is positioning itself right now is if the Pacers win that series, which are up 3-1, the Knicks will have home court advantage if they advance in the Eastern Conference Finals as the 3rd seed. And out of the 4 West teams, if any team but the Thunder make the finals and the Knicks make the finals, the Knicks will have home court in the NBA Finals. So my point is, the Knicks as the 3rd seed has a chance to have home court in the Eastern Conference Finals and home court in the NBA Finals as a 3rd seed, which blows my mind. So weird things happen. I know NBA and NFL are completely different, but you can still benefit of the doubt of getting home field without getting that 1 seed.
Oh, man. Well,
and that makes my everything's chills right now. I can't even explain what I'm feeling,
it's
bro.
It's gonna happen, man. I hope the Knicks win it all this week or this year, so that you're just
if the Knicks win it all this year, that's gonna change everything for this Jets season for me. 100%.
Yeah, exactly. You're not even gonna care. You're gonna be like, doesn't matter. Like, one of my favorite teams has won a championship.
Well,
like,
I will still care, but that will be such a big weight off my shoulder. I will still be celebrating the Knicks championship during the season of the Jets. When the Jets have a tough loss, go, baby.
And plus, I'm sure it's probably great for your basketball brand as well. So
dude, my Knicks media is going off right now, man. I'm enjoying it.
Exactly. When your team solid, that's of course when you start to see that growth.
I know, man. I started Jets media, and we've never been successful since. We have 14 years, obviously, you know how bad the Jets have been. Yeah. You have been covering nothing but playoff success with the Buffalo Bills. Like, I don't know,
dude, I know
what it's like to cover success with the Jets. I'm getting a taste of what it's like to cover success with the Knicks. Yeah. And wow, it is fantastic.
It's my first year on social media for the Bills was 2019. So it was that season. And that was the season where we ended up getting sent home by Deshaun Watson.
That's the first year of the AFC's Roundtable.
I thought we did it in 2020.
Oh, yeah. Maybe that was the first year of Jets media, and then we did Roundtable the year after.
Yeah. I felt like it was that. But yeah, dude, wild. You know what? Like, I've definitely been blessed for sure. Where like I went on ahead and I was just like, yeah, like I'm pumped about the Bills this year. Like, we're finally gonna dethrone Tom Brady, like whatever. We didn't, but cool. You know, like we made it to the playoffs. It was great. I thought we were gonna win that Houston Texans game, at least for the
That was a
first half.
Tyrod, no?
No, it was with Josh Allen. So the
Oh.
Tyrod one was in 2017 when we lost to the Jaguars 9-6.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it was pretty tough. Yeah, it was pretty tough, man.
Shout out Tyrod,
Absolutely.
man.
Tyrod Taylor, man. All right, listen, this is a great segue, folks, because we're going to go over to our Q&A segment. Feel free to ask any questions surrounding the NFL, some hot topics that you really would like the host to answer right here. Again, just so we can make sure that we have a pleasurable listening experience for those that are catching the replay of this episode, and it's easy for us to decipher between questions, statements, and arguments against each other right within the chat. Please label all submissions appropriately with either a Q for question or an S for statement, and Richie and I will react to as many as humanly possible. Thank you to the habitual line stepper for kicking this off. Question. Impromptu topic. Which new NFL duo tandem? You have JSN, Adams, Pickens, Lamb replaces the other top duo wide receiver tandem, Chase Higgins and AJ Brown Smith, Justin Jefferson, Addison, Hill, Waddle.
Oh, that's easy.
Who replaces one of those? It's got to be Hill, Waddle.
Right?
Yeah. Because
100%.
Hill's, yeah. So that tandem's dead.
Because Chase Higgins is number one. No one's surpassing that.
Mm-hmm.
JSN and Adams is a very intriguing duo. I think that's very slept on. Devontae Adams still got it. Let's not pretend. Let's not forget who Devontae Adams is.
I think he meant Cup and JSN. Right? So because Adams is on the Rams.
Oh my God, he just broke my brain.
Right? Yeah, when I saw it at first, I thought that it wasn't right, but yeah, I think he means JSN and Cup.
Yes, JSN and Cup, but don't sleep on Puka and Devontae. I think that's where I was going. I thought JSN was
Puka Devontae. Okay.
Puka and Devontae is up there because people are forgetting about Devontae Adams because he went to the Jets last year and the Raiders was a mess. This guy still got it. I guarantee you with the Rams, Devontae Adams is going to be lethal this year if he can stay healthy. I'm not really moved by, listen, CeeDee Lamb, I think, has become one of the most underrated superstar receivers in the league. Would you agree? Like, don't you feel like CeeDee Lamb is like a forgotten superstar? I don't know if it's because Dak keeps getting hurt and the Cowboys are the Cowboys, but like you think of the top 5 receivers in the league, who would your top 5 be?
So I feel like you have to put CeeDee Lamb in there, surprisingly enough.
Right?
I think the easy answers are Chase. Same thing with Jay Jettas. I think that's 1 and 2. So I wouldn't be upset. Say that you had either of those at 1 or 2. I think that's fine. I think CeeDee Lamb should be 3.
Yeah.
I feel like he should be.
Yeah, 100%.
You know?
So his George Pickens is a solid, like I think George Pickens is a really good number 2 receiver. I never thought he was good enough to be a number 1 for Pittsburgh. So being a number 2 next to CD is great. Jordan Addison is very an underrated number 2 next to JJ. Yeah. But I think the easy answer is Hill and Waddle, man. I think that tandem, it's done.
So that's even if he decides to like play for Miami, right? And obviously he's under contract. It's been clear that he's already said that he wants out of Miami. I just have a funny feeling, Richie, that with Tyreek Hill, he's going to pull that thing where, oh yeah, I'm not ready to play yet. Like he's basically going to pull what Devontae Adams pulled for the Las Vegas Raiders prior to being traded at the deadline. That's my take on Tyreek Hill this year in 2025. He'd be like, oh, my hamstring, I can't play.
Dude,
and that
organization would let that slide too, because there's no accountability. There's no like presence. It's like Mike McDaniel, like, oh yeah, sure. Like there's no grit. Oh,
I saw one fan, right? And like one thing I have noticed, like from like many Miami Dolphins fans, is a lot of them have finally got it, right? And they haven't been talking as much shit on socials, right? Like I feel like their team and hopes and dreams have been beaten out of them, and they have been humbled. but there's still a couple of them out there, right? Like I saw some dude go out there and say that the Dolphins were going to be a wild card team. So 11-6, and Tua was going to go out there and have his best statistical season ever and make the playoffs. Now, it is a dying breed, right? It is a dying breed. However, they are still out there, Richie.
It's true.
It's
I
true.
agree.
It's true.
Before we get to the no super chat, go.
There you go, brother. There you go, brother.
Shout out to Tony. Always sending the
Tony, man. Listen, dude, he loves it, and Bob's going to be making an appearance, and Bob will be making an appearance to all of the events this year. Stay tuned.
Oh boy, that's going to be great. So I wanted an impromptu topic before we get into more questions, because I think this is an interesting conversation that's been sparked recently.
Mm-hmm.
I know you're not super into the NBA, but are you familiar with the NBA lottery system, or the fact that they have a lottery?
Yeah.
So now there's a lot of debate right now. Should the NFL bring a draft lottery?
No.
And what do you mean? You
Absolutely
can win the lottery by winning. It benefits the Bills. So
0.
The reason why this is brought up, the Mavericks had a 1.8% chance to win the lottery last night. 1.8. They were a borderline playoff team. They won the lottery. And the worst teams in the NBA, Dan, the last 7 years, the worst teams in the NBA the last 7 years did not win the lottery. So NBA literally is anti-tank, and the NFL seems to be pro-tank. So what's your thoughts of a potential NFL lottery? And shout out to Trevor Sikkema and Connor Rogers. They made a fun video breaking this down this week for a special NFL draft lottery. What would it look like if they had it?
What would an NFL draft lottery be? Oh, yeah. We'd see the Kansas City Chiefs walk away with the number 1 overall pick and shit. That's probably what we would see.
And I hate the lottery, dude. It is so refreshing the Knicks are not part of the lottery system, because that means
so what goes into the lottery, right? Because last night when I was
the only teams that are eligible for the lottery, just so you know, are the teams that don't make the playoffs.
Okay, so it's only teams that don't make the playoffs, but so a team that was just on the cusp of making the playoffs.
Mavericks were in the play-in tournament, and they missed the playoffs, and they had a 1.8% chance, and they won it, which is absurd. It's the largest unlikely thing that's ever happened.
So what kind of got me and why I didn't trust it either was them announcing. So the lottery was just some dude with like index cards.
I hate that dude, bro. That dude gives me trauma. The Knicks losing the lottery.
So how did they determine it?
No, there's ball. They do a lottery system with like it's a really weird concept. They do these balls, like the ping pong balls with the ball, like off camera. And then there's like certain teams have a certain 4 numbers, and it's really unlikely, blah, blah, blah. And you can see the videotape of it. So they come out with the results that they already did it like behind the scenes. And then that's like the reveal of the results live on TV.
It's kind of fishy. I feel like they should do that lottery ball thing right in front of everybody.
Yeah, everyone's saying it's fishy now because the Mavericks traded Luka. Yeah. And now they want to gift them. And like teams like the Charlotte Hornets, the Washington Wizards, the Utah Jazz, those 3 teams had the 3 most likely odds, the same odds for all 3 of them, 14%, and none of them got it.
So do they have more balls right in that thing or something like that?
Yeah.
Okay, so they have more balls.
So they had 14% split 3 ways, and then it goes down the list. And you look at the Mavericks, they should be picking like 11th or 12th, the Mavericks, but they went up 1. So connecting with the NFL, that's like the Miami Dolphins, who were like, they picked 13th this year or something like that, fringe playoff team. That's like the Dolphins winning the lottery and they get the first overall pick this year.
Okay. So I think I understand where they're coming from.
And the reason of it is simple. You don't want it. They don't like tanking. They don't want to like reward teams for being awful and reward teams for tanking. And that's really what it is.
True. But then again, I feel for the most part, it does help us stay away from perennial teams that just blow for like generations, right? Like we at least see stark improvements from the teams that are regularly picking within the top 5. Like I'm almost curious to see what is the longest consecutive streak of an NFL team that has had a top 5 pick that has had multiple top 5 picks for like 10 plus years. It almost doesn't seem realistic to me, right? I think with those shitty teams, getting the top end talents is more of like a short-term solution in getting these teams back in contention. But I also understand, right, that there shouldn't be a reward-based system for being shitty in the NFL. What are your thoughts? Would you welcome a lottery system for the NFL?
Yeah, I mean, this is the lottery, by the way. This is like what it looks like behind the scenes. They got the balls right here. They bring it up. It creates a combination of numbers, and each team has their own combination of numbers. So that's that, and they have each team represented here. So really interesting concept. With the NFL, man, I definitely don't think it would work, even though I am so against tanking. I hate it. And unfortunately, as a Jets fan, I have to live through it every year at the end of every single season where people root for losses. Like, there's a part of me that's like, bring the lottery into the NFL so I can stop getting into debates about losing for a better draft pick. Because that's when you're in the NBA, you're literally not rewarded for sucking. Like in the NFL, you're rewarded for sucking. So it's a different structure of power. And you can argue it's a good and bad thing. But even the Spurs, who were not one of the worst teams in the league, they got the second pick last night. So like the Utah Jazz were one of the worst teams in the league, the worst record, and they got the 5th pick. So there are some like crazy things going on with the lottery. And I hate the lottery, bro. I'll never forget when the Knicks had a terrible season, Dan, and it was the lottery for Zion Williamson. And I had a video that went viral of me reacting to that, of the Knicks getting the 4th pick instead of the 1st. I lost my the 3rd pick. I lost my shit. I hate the lottery. So but the NFL, I just hate tanking, bro. I really, really do. I just hate everything about it. As a fan of the Jets, we have to go through that every year. The conversation gets brought up. So I just don't know. I
love it. Absolutely love it. We have Scully Bone has come on in with a question.
Shout out to Scully Bone. He's been in all my Knicks media shows supporting his Celtics. Very respectful Boston fan. Appreciate you, bro.
Hell yeah, Scully. What's going on, man? When are y'all going to Gillette Stadium? Question mark.
Glitz Gillette Stadium.
Yo, one of you gents, I feel like, is what he meant to say.
Fill out the form, and we'll see how many Patriots fans fill out the form. I mean, that's when we'll know.
Yeah. In fact, I think we're going to have a little solid discussion here in a bit, Richie, after this stream is over with. Something I think that might be a better way of being able to track potential popularity. Let's see.
Lascelles cuts the line. Super chat. $5 super chat. That cuts the line. If you want to send in a super chat, it's a way to cut the line for the Q&A segment. Lascelles says, I hate tanking as well. That's why I'm glad the Brooklyn Nets won over 30 games, and I have no regret. Yeah, the Brooklyn Nets, they had a terrible season, and they got screwed last night. 8th pick. Yikes.
And the 8th pick, I mean, hey, you know what? Maybe they'll find a diamond in the rough.
Appreciate you, Lascelles.
So not unless, like back in the NBA talk, so is there like a significant drop-off in talent like after the first 3 picks of the NBA draft? Because that's kind of like this
draft is a little deeper, but this one was like, and it's crazy too, Dan. Listen to this. Cooper Flagg, he's the number 1 overall pick, like undisputed. He was at the lottery.
Yeah.
And right when the Mavericks won it, they had Cooper Flagg on the ESPN stage getting interviewed. Oh, what do you think of the Mavericks? Like, oh, you're going to be with this. Like, he already is a Maverick, and the draft is a month away. Like, he's getting interviewed like he's a Dallas Maverick. Like, 5 seconds after the Mavericks win the lottery, they bring Cooper Flagg up, and he's like the generational talent that is undisputed number 1. This year's draft is definitely a little bit more deeper. There's some guys, but this was a big year to get the first overall pick because of Flagg. It was like, you got to get that first overall pick. Whoever wins the lottery gets a generational talent potentially.
And the Mavs are coming in. And John is coming in saying top 5 quarterbacks in the NFL. For me, it's Mahomes, Allen, Burrow, Jackson, and Herbert. I disagree with you. And this is based off of last year's situation. I have Josh Allen number 1. So the best quarterback in the NFL.
Was this in order?
Going in 2025. Yeah. I have Josh Allen number 1. I have number 2, Lamar Jackson. I have number 3, Joe. I have number 4, Herbert. I have number 5 Mahomes.
Wow,
Based off
Mahomes
the
drops to
tone.
5 last year.
I mean, he didn't have a good season last year, right? And hear me out. Like, this is basically how I look at some things, like when it comes into like qualifying what a good quarterback is. So I feel like I obsess over traits rather than obsessing over production, because production has so many outside factors that go into it. And a quarterback making it to a Super Bowl, having rings, like, yeah, that's good. Like, he could account for, 70 to 80% of that reason at any given moment. But I think that we all can agree that the past couple of Super Bowl championships for Patrick Mahomes, and also when it comes into him making it to the Super Bowl last year, I think his overall percentage of contribution has dwindled compared to previous seasons. As far as how QBs have been playing and in 24, that's probably how I would be putting a lot of those things right into metrics. So
Yeah, I think the one word, if you want to compare quarterbacks that you need to factor in, is legacy. When it's all said and done, legacy is all about championships. And I know that's a team thing, but in my opinion, when you look at the greatest quarterbacks of this generation, like 20 years from now, when everyone's retired, they're going to look at the rings. They're going to look at who was able to get the most championships, and Mahomes is way ahead of everybody. But when it comes to like pure quarterback play entering the season, that's a different conversation. But in terms of legacy, and with that in mind, I'm going to put a quarterback in my top 5 that I think is the most disrespected quarterback in the league, and this connects with legacy.
What's that?
Jalen Hurts is a better quarterback than Justin Herbert. Now, you can debate a wall about that. There's different traits. Herbert has a better arm, but you talk about Jalen Hurts, a winner. And obviously, he has a great offensive line. He's got Saquon. He's got a great system around him and all that, yes. But you talk about Jalen Hurts' efficiency, making the big-time throws when he needs to, being clutch, using his legs when he needs to. He's very opportunistic. I think Jalen Hurts is not going to flood the stat sheet because he doesn't need to. He's a winner. He plays the game to win, not to go up, put up, 400 passing yards, 5 touchdowns. He does not need to do that to win. So I think Jalen Hurts deserves the respect of being a top 5 quarterback entering this year after winning the Super Bowl the way that he did and the way that he played in the playoffs. Because everybody looks at stats and just QBRs and all that stuff. I watch the games and I evaluate it. How do they impact their football team to win? And that connects to Mahomes. You're right. Maybe statistically, he does not really have that much of a contribution, but this guy goes out there and makes the plays in the clutch when you need to. That's a winner, which is I value a little bit more than having a better completion percentage or having more rushing touchdowns or having more of this. Like, stats, in my opinion, isn't really a way you look at a quarterback. I think it's more about legacy and how you impact the team to win in the clutch.
So when it comes into production, right? And so a lot of people are obsessed with, what's the QB's record against this QB? So let me ask you something, Richie. Would you say that Justin Herbert's better than Joe Burrow?
No.
Guess what Joe Burrow's record is against Herbert?
0-3.
He's 0-2. He's 0-2 against Herbert, right? So I saw some guy go on TikTok and he did this entire thing. He was just like, Herbert and Joe Burrow have literally the exact same stats, and Joe Burrow is 0-2 against Justin Herbert. So Justin Herbert is the better quarterback. That should also sort of throw into the whole debate of, so-and-so, man, like QBs, man, that's yet another promise that wins are not a QB stat, right? And you shouldn't look at head-to-head matchups based off of choosing who is the better quarterback. I saw that and I found it interesting because I literally saw someone say, Herbert, he's better than Joe Burrow. Look at the box score, man. He's beat him twice. Come on.
That's where I'm hopeful those guys are just simply rage baiting. I mean, I don't know. That's their only.
Yeah, dude. Right. It's traits that excite me. Traits excite me. That's largely how I look at a lot of these things.
Talk about traits.
Yeah.
The Jets got a quarterback who has a trait that I can say is elite.
I love traits, man. I do.
I think Justin Fields is top. I would argue the second best quarterback in the NFL in terms of athleticism and mobility.
Say that again.
Justin Fields is number 2 out of the quarterbacks in this league that's starting in terms of mobility and athleticism. And
who's number one?
Lamar.
Okay, you have Fields over Josh Allen in that category?
Now, this isn't I'm no stretch imagination saying
Right.
Fields is better than Josh Allen.
Yeah,
This is
yeah,
a trait.
like okay.
Right? And the reason why I say that, Justin Fields is one of 3 quarterbacks of all time to have 1,000 rushing yards in a season. That's what he's great at.
Okay.
Right?
All right.
And who are the 3 quarterbacks to ever do it? You guess? Fields is 1.
Fields is 1. Lamar.
Mike Vick.
Players Vick. Okay.
Mike Vick, who was the best mobile quarterback to ever live at the time, right? So you see where I'm going with this. When Lamar Jackson came in the league, everyone looked at him. He's the new Mike Vick of the league. Fields, his athleticism and making people miss and picking up yards with his legs is a legit weapon, like a legit playmaking weapon. Now, Josh Allen, he doesn't need to rely on it like Fields does. So it's not like if Josh Allen relied on it as much as Fields, I'm sure he can get 1,000 yards rushing. And you can argue Allen is a better athletic mobile quarterback than Fields from just running standpoint, from more power. But Fields can literally take it the distance any stretch of imagination. I just feel like we have a weapon with that, and I'm excited to see it come to fruition.
Man, we have a super chat to close it out because I have a meeting at 3 p.m. EST exactly. Hey, Dan and Richie, what team that made the playoffs last season in the AFC do you see taking a step back? A team that made the playoffs last year that you
great question.
Steelers, I think, is the easiest answer. Right?
Oh yeah, forgot
Yes.
They made the playoffs.
They did. Yeah, dude, it's a shock every single year. So maybe it's not an easy answer because we always think that they're going to take a step back, but somehow they find themselves in the playoffs with literally an Uncle Rico as their quarterback. They find it. Like somehow they find a way in.
Yeah, I think the Steelers is the easy answer. I think the next 2 teams you wonder is Denver. Are they going to take a step forward or back?
Yeah.
And the Chargers.
Yeah. And so the AFC West had 3 playoff teams last year. We'll see if they can continue it. You know, who knows?
Yeah, because I think the Chiefs are a lock. Bills, Ravens, Texans. Maybe the Texans could be a team that takes a step back.
So the Texans all but ignored their offensive line and got worse, like right at the position. Like you couldn't think that they could have gotten worse at the production they put out from an offensive line perspective, but who knows? Who knows? Folks, thank you so much for tuning in to another edition, 4th and Forever, Roundtable Sports. Tomorrow is an exciting episode because I have a feeling that we're going to be getting a lot of schedule leaks tomorrow leading up to the official announcement. And then afterwards, we're going to be having the celebration over on the AFC East Roundtable where we ultimately end up reacting to each and every single one of them. Way too early win-loss predictions. It's going to be a damn good time. And you might even catch Richie celebrating in the background due to the Knicks advancing to the conference finals.
My goodness.
So who would you play?
The Pacers are up 3-1 on the Cavaliers. And the Cavaliers are the 1 seed.
And how did you do to the Pacers like right during the regular season? How did you do?
The Knicks and the Pacers versed last year in round 2. And the Knicks were up 2-0, and then our entire team got hurt in the playoffs. Pacers came back, won the series in 7. So the Knicks and the Pacers have history. And a fun fact about the Knicks and Pacers, that rivalry goes deep. The last 2 times the Knicks were in the conference finals was against the Pacers. So the Knicks and Pacers have a deep-rooted rivalry.
So who's your favorite out of the Western Conference?
Yeah, it's tough. I think Denver Nuggets over the OKC. The Thunder were the best team in the NBA, 1st seed. But think of the Thunder as like, who's the Thunder in the NFL? A team that's so good and so new, but they don't have any experience going up against a team like the Nuggets, who are like kind of like the Chiefs or the Eagles. They've been there, they've done that, so they're kind of like upsetting them, the Nuggets right now. And the Timberwolves, I like the Timberwolves in the West because they have 2 former Knicks, and if we face off against the Timberwolves in the finals, you got Julius Randle and Dante DiVincenzo coming back to the Garden in the NBA Finals to take on the Knicks. That would be absolute cinema. And the Warriors don't have Steph Curry; he's hurt, so I don't think it's going to be between the Timberwolves, Nuggets, and Thunder, and then Knicks and Pacers, unless the Cavaliers and the Celtics have a historic 3-1 comeback underneath their sleeves.
Damn.
Yeah, they're
All
the
right.
Commanders, the Thunder.
Folks,
Maybe.
let's go on ahead and let's root for Richie. Say, for example, that
Come on,
you are
baby.
not
Come on, a
part
lot
of
of
the
Bills fans are Knicks fans, Dan. Hop on the bandwagon. Start watching some ball.
Yeah, you know what, man? I'm not going to do it now. Next year, I'll go ahead and I'll pick a team. I'll start watching some ball.
Come on,
So
baby. You
I
know
don't
it.
look like a
Buffalo
bandwagon.
Bills, New York. Come on. Bills fans claim
I
to be a New
mean,
York team. So
say that I
go
need
for the New
to
York squad.
say that I need to hop on a basketball team. It might as well be like what the majority of Bills fans root for. So it does make sense.
Let's
But
do it, man.
yeah, dude. Yeah, dude. We'll see. We'll see. But
Have you ever
folks,
seen the videos of, real quick, and then we'll go, of like what the state of Manhattan is after a Knicks win in the streets?
no.
Oh, dude, you would love these
Crazy.
videos. It's hilarious, bro. It's literally a parade. Streets flooded. You can't do anything. And then you got Knicks fans just yelling at microphones. I got to go there with a Roundtable Sports mic flag and get content. Like, it is epic. People are losing their minds off of a playoff win. We're not even talking about winning a championship. Like, there's nothing like New York City fans, bro. We're starving. That's what it's about. Starvation is what it's about. It's been so long since this city's seen anything championship related. So with that, see you tomorrow night.
Starving for a championship. Folks, thank you so much for tuning in. We will see you tomorrow for a very special edition. Same time, same place. Deuces.